Good day, CCF family. Welcome to Sunday Fast Track, where you ask real-life questions and we give you biblical truths. I'm Kyle Barrington from CCF Beyond, and we're here today with Pastor Jim Whelchel, our CCF Beyond Missions Director, to answer your questions. Good day, Pastor Jim. How was the service?
I enjoyed it. I hope they did.
Praise the Lord. Okay, for our first question, I've been asked this question a lot. How would God's blessing apply to those who may not yet be followers of Jesus or are just getting started in their journey? What can they do to experience his blessing?
Great question. Obviously, the biggest blessing that God offers to them is having a personal relationship with him. I think a lot of times we're looking for material solutions to issues in life. The reality is many times the real solution isn't material at all. Now, sometimes God does bless us materially because he loves us. But I think all of us, whether we are new believers, not yet believers, wherever we are in the journey, I think we need to recognize that the greatest blessing that God gives us is his presence, his salvation. So I would encourage people that haven't yet experienced that, just to explore, find out what it means to have a personal relationship with Christ, because I believe that's the greatest blessing they can experience.
Excellent. Okay, for our second question, I think it's safe to say that Jesus and his disciples were the most blessed people who have ever lived. Yet they had little or no material possessions. What could we say to people who think of blessings as being material possessions versus God's presence with us? Are those in conflict?
Yeah, there are some people that God has blessed materially, and it truly is a blessing to them. I know some people that are incredibly generous with the things that have been given to them, and they are blessed even more as they share those blessings with others. I find that people that seek to kind of cling on to the blessings rarely are as satisfied with the material things as those that give. So I think that it's not necessarily there is a conflict. You can be blessed by God and have material things, but I think it's your attitude towards those. Is that the source of your fulfillment? If it is, you're probably going to be disappointed. But if your source of fulfillment is honoring God with the possessions that you have, perhaps being generous with those, I think God is free to bless you, and you will experience his favor, not just the material blessings.
Let's move to question number 3. It seems clear that God's priority in giving blessings is for us to bless the nations or to bless others. Pastor Ricky showed us this in the New Testament last week, and you actually just showed us this again in the Old Testament this week. What needs to change in us so that we will prioritize being a blessing to all nations rather than just keeping those blessings for ourselves? Can we do anything practically?
Great question. I think lahat tayo, yung mga parang yung mahal sa buhay, malapit sa atin yan. They're the people that we first think about of blessing. So naturally naman, I mean, you think of how do you bless people, you think about your family, yung familia nyo, yung extended family. But we have to change the attitude that that's it. Parang, if you look at Acts chapter 1, verse 8, many times we say, we are to start in Jerusalem and then go to Judea and Samaria and then the uttermost parts. Pero hindi naman ganun eh. Hindi naman either or. It's both and. So I think most of the attitude issue is we don't wait until we've finished with our family, finished with those close to us. Lahat sila Christian na, so meron tayong opportunity to go to the next place. Actually, we can start even while we are reaching our loved ones.
And for our final question, you said in your message that blessing the nations isn't just a ministry within the church, it's our ministry or our mission as a church. What adjustments could we make as the church to be more aligned with God's desire to bless the nations?
We can all pray. I don't think that any of us is limited geographically by our prayers. And I think all of us within CCF, of course, when we do our prayer meetings and things like that, the tendency is to focus on things that are just here in the Philippines. I think that we could probably improve in making people more aware of what God is doing outside of the Philippines and praying more diligently for that. Obviously, we can serve more. We can actually send more short-term missionaries. We can do more in terms of helping people serve within CCF, but towards the nations. So I think giving more awareness of the opportunities is one thing that we can do. And of course, giving. Although that's not the primary thing. We're not about, just giving lots of money. But I think there is a legitimate desire that people have to bless the ministry of the church. And if we can focus a little bit more of that on what's happening outside of the Philippines, I think that would be a good move.
Excellent. Thank you, Pastor Jim. We appreciate you answering our questions and the questions of our CCF family. That concludes our Missions Month. Can you believe it? To know more about missions and how you can be a part of God's movement globally, scan the QR code below or visit ccfbeyond.org. We're excited to partner with you, and we mean that. We're also excited to let you know that we will have a brand new series this week with our senior pastor, Dr. Peter Tanchi. And that's it for CCF Sunday Fast Track. Happy Missions Month.